Hello, hello. Heather Jean here, Confidence Through Cabaret. Thank you for being with me. This is Confidence with Coffee. This is a segment where I get an opportunity to spend some time really reflecting on our latest podcast episode and vodcast episode, which you'll find right here. Please like and subscribe to the channel and to this video, and check out the vodcast for this week. This week I'm joined by the wonderful Jade Matthews, who is a body and mind transformation coach. So Jade is the owner and founder of Intuitive Fitness. And in this episode, we are talking about mind-body connection. We're talking about, what it means to transform our body and mind into having the body that we dream of, but also kind of readjusting our association with food. So you can check it out on anywhere you get your podcasts, Confidence Through Cabaret. You can also check it out, as I say, on this YouTube channel. And of course, you can check out any of the Confidence Through Cabaret socials on Confidence Through Cabaret. Just search where you are, except for Twitter and Clubhouse. Twitter is at YBYWYS, and I am at Heather YBYWYS on Clubhouse. So you can join me. I also have a club called Confidence and Attitudes. So in this episode, it was really great to be talking about, some of the associations and patterns that we develop as we're growing up. For example, we tend to adopt our eating and fitness patterns from our parents initially, and then from our wider community as we go on and grow up. And very often, how our parents, especially our mother, treated food. And that tends to be how we treat food. I know certainly I still have some food, I'm going to say, issues, although they're much smaller than that now, around where my mother would say, you have to eat these things, and I had to stay at the table, as food was like a punishment if I didn't want to have it. And so it became a battle. I was very stubborn, still am, and so it became a battle of wills around food. And so things like new potatoes as little potatoes, they're very good. I enjoy them, and yet there is still part of me that goes, yes, but I don't have to eat those. This is my petulant child voice still in there, because it was a constant battle for me to eat them. I didn't like potatoes with skin on at the time. So, so a lot of the patterns stick with us, and Jade Matthews shares with us, some of her patterns of, her mother's habits of eating, and what that said, and what was okay to do and not do. And so check out the podcast episode, and you can hear Jade sharing all of that. She also shares with us, how she goes about breaking patterns. And we talk quite a lot about why we eat what we eat, what are our choices. So it's not tuning into our body. I know certainly I used to work with young people, with teenagers who wanted to develop greater self-esteem, and it was a UK government program, so it was all funded. And one of the things that we used to talk a lot about was about, how we use food. And if we felt not so good in our body, then we would use food to make us feel better, although it was only temporary. And then, of course, that becomes a vicious circle. And can be a really hard habit to break. I don't feel good about it, so I'll eat something that's a treat, and that will make me feel good momentarily while I'm eating it, and then afterwards I feel worse, and so the cycle continues. And once we got to the whole part about why do we eat, a lot of times it's, at least for me, is about emotional avoidance. It's about, like, I don't really want to feel these feelings, so I will stuff them down with food. The whole episode is not based around eating and diets and so on, but there is quite a lot around that. I loved our conversation talking about confidence as well, and how that feeds into and fuels our mindset, and therefore our physical activity, or tendency to find a physical activity. The mind-body connection is so real. And so if we're not in the right mindset, then we're less likely to want to exercise, or to over exercise even. And then that that fuels our mindset, and that fuels our body, and so it goes around in a circle. And let's have a listen to a clip that I've chosen from this podcast and podcast episode.
Something I hear a lot from women is they're like, oh, they're aware that their mindset's not in the right place. And they're like, right, I'm going to try and work on my mindset first and then start working on my body goals or my health goals or whatever it is that they have in place. But then they find that they're never actually doing anything because they're not taking any action. So because they're not taking any action, they don't have that result. And because they don't have the result, they don't have the confidence. So it's kind of like a vicious circle of like almost waiting for the right time. But then also we do have a lot of people who are working on themselves and they're trying to do all these fancy diets. I'll come back to diets in a moment. I'm very anti-diet, but they're trying all these fancy diets and they're like trying to fix their mindsets, but they're kind of trying to put their mindset in a positive place, but they're getting involved in like unhealthy habits. So they're still maybe nighttime snackers or bingers or emotional eaters or stuff like this. So it's a case of kind of crossed wires, shall we say, of where they're trying their best to kind of get out of a mindset that's maybe not serving them, but then they're taking part in unhealthy habits such as those and like weighing themselves every day, which is pointless anyway.
Yeah. So I had asked the question, which comes first, the mindset, getting into the right mindset in order to exercise and move our body, or moving our body, which affects our mindset. And, it's always surprising to me when, coaching clients of mine, if I'm coaching them, let's say on career, how to progress their career or how to start their business or reignite their business, then people will say, wow, this is really shifting into my personal life as well. Almost as if there's this sense of, who we are in our personal life and who we are in our work life are very different people, but it's of course the same person. So when you shift one part, it shifts another part. So I've found that in my own aerial dance and cabaret dance world, that when I get my body moving, it promotes positive hormones, and I feel good, and then I want to eat differently, and vice versa. When I'm eating differently, I have more energy, I feel more light, and that makes me want to move. But I think very often we think that if I'm not really in the mood to exercise, and so we don't do it. I've certainly done that a lot. I think recently I've been doing that as well. It's almost like, oh well, if I can't do it 100%, then I'm not going to do it at all. And certainly since COVID, I've lost a lot of my strength and flexibility, so I can't do a lot of the things that I used to be able to do, and will be able to do again. But for now, I'm not able to do those things, and so that makes me go, well, if I can't do those things, I don't do anything. But of course, half an effort is better than no effort at all in moving our body. Half an effort in preparing our food is better than no effort at all. And, eating pre-prepared food, which is a really easy trap to get into. I did quite a lot of that during COVID as well. But this mind-body connection is so important. We store our emotions in our body. We process feelings in various places in our body, and we often try to use food to not allow the feelings to come in, or certainly I do, or have a tendency to do. And so we stuff that down. And it's, that expression, is not what you eat, it's why you eat, is very real. I think that, if you can tune into your body, if you can tune into, are you hungry? Is there a sense of hunger in your body? Then if there is, you should eat. And if there isn't, then test, why are you eating? Or why are you making the choices? Sometimes I let I get over hungry, and then I go for something really sugary because I just need something right away. And so it's finding that balance. And we talk quite a lot around finding that balance and what that means. But also, I love our conversation talking about, Jade used to be a dancer, and she shares her story of being a dancer. And that illusion of people sort of go, oh, you must be confident because you're on stage, or you must be confident because you're competing and you're dancing. And that's not necessarily true. In fact, sometimes we're confident in one part of our life and not so confident in other parts of our life. And so we tend to spend a lot of time in the areas where we're confident because it feels good, right? But, what we always talk about in Confidence Through Cabaret is start from where you're strong, Start from where you do have confidence in this example. Start from where you feel good, and then look to the areas where you want to feel better, or you want to build more confident, or you want to take more action. And we can transfer a lot of our confidence strategies where we are confident into the areas where we're less confident. And sometimes we think we have to reinvent the wheel, and we have to find new ways or new strategies of feeling confident in those areas we want to build confidence in. So I asked Jade, as I pretty much always do in podcasts, about what one prop would you want to have if you were going on stage to perform in cabaret. And the question isn't really about what's the prop that you want. It's much more about why do you want it? So Jade chose a hat, just to, sorry for the spoiler, I should have given a spoiler alert. And for some people, the why is because then I can cover myself up with that. A lot of people choose like a big fan because then they can cover themselves with it. Now, if that's to create a mystique and to kind of create flow and movement, then wonderful. But if that is literally just to cover yourself up, then that's something worth exploring about why is that important to you, and why would you want to be doing that, and what's behind that. And so when we choose it to accentuate and to take up more space and to extend our space by sharing, waving a hat or throwing a hat or whatever it is, then that's a sign of that, this prop is something that I can enjoy and I can take up more space with. Wonderful. Because that confidence is created further by having momentum and going more into it. And equally, if we're trying to make ourselves small, then why? What is it about this that makes us want to feel small? Why do we want to quieten ourselves and take up less space? And that's what Confidence Through Cabaret is all about, is uncovering that without apology or without explanation, and really learning to take up more space. So join us in Confidence Through Cabaret. I'm always in the Confidence Through Cabaret Facebook community. Join us here, like and subscribe here. Join us on all of the podcast. It can be found on Confidence Through Cabaret. And check out this particular episode, especially because Jade is talking about a mind-body challenge that she's offering. And whenever you see this, if you've missed that, you can still reach out and find out when the next challenge is going on. But it's very much about, connecting with our mind body when we talk about confidence. And when we allow ourselves to feel the feeling, then we can extend our confidence and really continue with the momentum. So I would love to see you on all of the socials. Comment here if you have questions, comments, ideas, things to suggest. Always happy to have podcast guests. Confidence Through Cabaret podcast is anything informing confidence. So do join me. Thanks so much for being here. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze there for a second. I am Heather Jean, and I am reminding you that it is your body, it is your world, and it is your stage. You get to decide. You get to own your space. Take up space today. Thank you. Bye.